Just very short question. How do you serve God best?
How do you serve God best? Maybe you can say by just being empty of you. But would you understand what I mean by that? Or I can say, continue just paying attention to all the things that come, you know, and trust that if something is meant to play out or whatever, you will know intuitively. Maybe in the beginning those questions might be there. Should I do this or should I do that and so on? But as you continue, please listen, if you continue just to keep observing the sense of presence, not in a visual way. Can you understand that? You know, just you know you are. You don't need a physical evidence for that. It's an intuitive knowing. And by paying attention to this and being freed from the psychological identity, this is the best service to God. Because you come into harmony without the need of that word even, you know. Something just like an unstrained sense of being. Then one comes naturally to see that what is happening is simply unfolding. God doesn't need anyone's help. He's not disabled. Our way of, say, being in harmony with God is only for your benefit and God's benefit. You see? And the joy of being freed from a kind of self-molestation. It's such absolute the joy to just to be empty, you know, that at a certain point you cannot remember how you were, or to seek God with your full heart, to search for what is to find and to know God is serving God. To keep asking God for what you individually need is serving you. To seek God for the sake of finding God, I feel this is serving the whole world. Everything that's happening at the moment has to happen. And their meanings are innumerable depending upon one's state of mind and being. We are not able to read things rightly because as long as you retain the sense of personal identity, our perception of the world is very subjective, very interpretive, even unto our own self, if nobody is involved. We agree and disagree with ourselves continuously. If you had to write 2 paragraphs of an autobiography every month, you will keep changing it because you will keep disagreeing. No, it's not like that. You just keep scratching things out. You'll scratch things out. If you had to write with a pen and it couldn't be erased, you'll see a lot of scratching out or a lot of torn paper thrown in bins because you cannot agree with your mind. And there's a sign in all of this. that the mind field is not reliable. The personal perspective is a very subjective view of life. It's not stable. There's no permanent person. It's all just traffic, clouds floating. Beingness is more like the immense sky. And our thoughts and ideas and identities are like clouds or rainbows float, everything passing an effect in consciousness. We underestimate emptiness. The word emptiness can feel in the human mind like shallowness or useless or drop out. So don't seek that the world should understand you, because it will not. The world does not understand itself. If we are searching for approval, even from family or friends, you may be disappointed. Today I was sharing that everyone, also people come to Sahajah at different level of their evolutionary stages or their journey, so to speak. No, some people, they come, they have a lot of difficulty in satsang, a lot of struggle, but they're in satsang, and it may take quite some time before that turbulence calm down, and they're able to flow with presence or in presence. And some will catch it very early. They're somehow, depending up, we're not all on the same line somehow. We're the same essence. We are the same essence, the same God essence. But in our, if we look at it, if I use the word like soul identity, we're at different stages, no? Eventually all these things, they will culminate into one essence. All these differences like, ego, mind, self, consciousness, all the being, all of it will just become one. Even mind and being, God, all is one, But while we have that strong sense of personal identity and individuality, everything will have its own unique little meaning. It's so unreliable. And it's not the way we ought to live. It's not our original state. Here in satsang, looking and discovering, you're coming into your natural, original state. And that is not time-bound. Coming to the place of beingness, you come off the wheel of samsara. Because if all our attainments is in the value system of personhood, if you fulfill all that your religious training tell you to do, but at the end of it you still have prejudice against other ways of regarding God, you have not completed your opportunity. You'll go high. You'll move into higher states of consciousness. Most people move in higher states of consciousness. But to transcend the limited state of personhood is very good. To even not be attached to beingness. You see, most we are attached to personhood. Then by observing person with detachment, we come to beingness. And beingness is a very superior state, heavenly state actually. But you may also transcend beingness also, presence also. That's not rejecting, just somehow going beyond and so on. Can have very, very linear kind of measurements, It's just subtler and subtler. beyond measurements. Beyond measurements. If we are in a personal mode, we value measurements and comparisons. But they're all in the mode of consciousness, mind, and consciousness. We can't appreciate the sense of totality. But not being able to appreciate the sense of totality is not really not knowing God. Because God is limitless. Far beyond any kind of name or entityness. He manifests through all of this. God manifests also through mind and person and body. But His essence is beyond all of them. Beyond name and form and time and change and space, all these things. But not beyond as in beyond, way. No, beyond in subtlety. And none can exist independent of, I say Him, but it or, I said earlier, not one atom has autonomy to function independent of its will. If you understand that, then this is very good. There are many layers of consciousness and mind. You see, it's funny, this is the nature of the manifest world, because wherever you live, always feel like it's the center of the world. But going beyond boundaries and such things, you may find you're beyond the world also. For some people, that's hideous idea. Like, oh, what do you mean? Everything I want is in the world. And everything you suffer is in the world, in your mind. By world, I mean mind also. I've said before that there's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. All is perceiving the earth in our own subjective way. Even unto ourselves, we disagree. From moment to moment, it's changing. So it's a very unreliable field. So something has rejected all the measurements as being profound and important. They are their relative and they have their role to play. We don't have to fight with them or to be cynical about anything. That's the beauty also. I have no enemies, not even the mind. Mind is a great friend. Becomes, Give you a good spanking now and again, but he's a good friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.